Wow, what a win. Welcome to the Larry Lakers, and it's a big James Worthy clap as he does post game. The Lakers have won the big in season bowl, the cup, whatever they're going to call it. The Lakers have won it 123 109. Congratulations, Lakers. Well done, Pacers. You'll get some money as well, I believe. And LA to Vegas. Fantastic result. Anthony Davis at last. All the Davis critics. How about that one? They fed him. We said it in the preview. Wear out the paint, and I tell you what, lucky it's such ugly paint. He must have got it on special on a cheap price because they worn it out like sandpaper tonight. LeBron and AD, they just kept going to the paint. There's no paint left. They rubbed off that ugly paint, and now they're back there painting it for next year. Well done, Anthony Davis. 41 points and 20 rebounds for the inaugural, the first ever NBA in-season tournament. And of course, now the MVP is LeBron James, MVP, the oldest man in the competition. That's in the whole NBA, is the MVP. Believe it or not, this is crazy stuff. Crazy stuff. Vince Carter, he played this long, but these are guys that were getting 7, 8, 9 points. Every now and then they'd have a breakout game. They weren't getting the minutes. He was pretty fit, Vince Carter. A couple other guys played a long time there. I think Willis, Kevin, I think Nowitzki. But these guys, they weren't getting the time, the health, the points, the speed with which LeBron's playing. What a credit to him. Tonight, of course, a lot of credit to AD, but we look at the real plus minus. We'll break down the game. They have both had really good games. Austin Reeves, second quarter, stood up big. They kept coming back at us. To their credit, the Pacers, and to our mistakes, we said, please, concentrate. We did a preview. Go back and have a look at it. Only take you 10 to 12 minutes. A lot of the things that we previewed came up in this game. So please go back and just take 10 or 12, have a look at the preview and say, hey, did these things come up? Things like Naismith, he got up under the bumper bar of LeBron. We said he might, and he certainly did. We didn't think he'd be able to hold it for 4 quarters, but he held it longer than I held it. I was getting worried that fouls was going to be the problem. Fouls and frustration. One of our listeners asked about that. But the team that held out through all of that potential frustration was the Lakers. It's a promising team, this Indiana Pacers, but they beat the Celtics, the Bucks, and the Lakers have been able to beat the highest scoring, most efficient offense, and without really doing much from three-pointer land. Austin Reeves, 28 points, tournament MVP, of course, was LeBron with 24 points and 11 rebounds. D'Angelo Russell, 13 points, and he was one of the players that could get the ball to AD really close to the basket. Clever play there at times. Davis and 16 of 24. What efficiency he had by being in that paint early on. A couple of fumbles. We got to the paint, but we didn't finish them, which was a little bit frustrating. What do you guys think? Davis, he also had 5 assists. While this game won't count, the Lakers, look, fans are going to be keen because we called for it. Other teams have been going on 4 in a row, 5 in a row. We've got 4 in a row. That's going to help us. Here we go. Tyrese Haliburton, good job. 20 points. Good job the defense, keeping him down to that. 11 assists. This guy's a walking double-double. 11 assists in a game where they didn't quite win, and players weren't hitting the shot. He drove, and quicker than I said he was. I said in the preview, he's not like one of these guards, left to right, quickness, lateral speed, zip around us like Donovan Mitchell, like Tyrese Maxey, like Jai, jump into us, Alexander. But his straight line speed, he's got this beautiful, nice, subtle speed and a curve line speed. Very classy player. But not just that, doesn't push his own shot or force it, kicks it out. If they were hitting him, I guess that's what I'm saying, it would be more than 20 points and 11 assists. He would have had 15, 16 assists if they were just hitting those shots, and it would have been a much closer game. Closer than you think. They brought it back to 5 often. mainly due to brain explosions from the Lakers or not finishing in close in the paint. And then they brought it back to 3 there at one stage early in the fourth quarter, again after 2 brain explosions in a row from the Lakers. One, unfortunately, from LeBron, a turnover at the end of the third quarter. Benedict Mathurin also got 20 points. Aaron Naismith, the guy who caused LeBron more trouble than we thought. We thought he'd cause a little bit, but it went longer than we thought. LeBron ran him straight over there in the last quarter. They appealed that and it got turned over, but a little late in the game for that to matter. Let's get into the breakdown. Davis, 41 minutes. They were looking a little bit tired, looked like a mini run. And when those errors came, you started to wonder if fatigue was creeping in and maybe Coach Darvin Ham could call a timeout. Eventually he did. I don't know whether LeBron told him to. It was LeBron bringing the ball up over halfway. And we had a nice little lead. So I guess Darvin wasn't worried they'd come up with something genius, which was one of the reasons he said he doesn't call a timeout because he doesn't want the other coach to come up with something good in that time. We needed that rest right then. So Davis, 41 minutes, but what about 16 of 24? Big collapse there. 9 of 13 from the three throws. What about 20 rebounds, a 20, 40, 5 assists? He's one of the first guys, but the game doesn't count. They compared it to past statistics, but what do you compare it to when it's not allowed to count as an official NBA game? Maybe that's something to work on next year. If you drew the draw right and they're two teams that don't meet each other a lot on the other side of the draw, then maybe these games could have counted. We haven't played the Pacers yet, as it turns out. So I guess, though, we could have ended up playing Miami, who've already played once. But surely there's a way where the game could count. Something to think about. Adam Silver, plus 13 in his real plus 41 points. They're back there painting with that ugly paint. Lucky they got it so cheap, Adam Silver. Torian Prince, he did hit 1-3 when we hadn't hit any. We did not get a three-pointer. Can you believe it? Till 2 minutes to go in the third quarter. Again, go back and look at the preview. We suggested this could happen, that the Lakers had such a good run from 3, we weren't sure we could do it 2 games in a row. Lucky we wore out the paint. Better than Sandpaper. Just put one of these games on, we'll strip the paint right off. The Lakers will run it down. So much wear and tear. Torian Prince, that 19 minutes, but he's plus 4, 6 points in his game. He got into a little bit of foul trouble there himself, which, again, we predicted in the preview. You're most welcome to have a look at it. LeBron James, 35 minutes, 10 of 21. A little bit frustrated there at times with Naismith. A little bit of early foul trouble too, so probably had to curb his game a bit, to his credit. It's one of the viewers' questions. Is this a game of who could manage early game foul frustration the best? And there's a couple of points where it looked a bit frustrating for both teams, and you had to manage that. And I think both these ones where you come around the screen and the screen is judged to be moving, I think Doc Rivers said you could call that nearly every play in the NBA. Not that this was an NBA game today, but don't tell me one. It was refereed by NBA officials, and I didn't think there was much in some of those offensive fouls, but they did call a few on the opposition after a couple of early ones on us. But what about this from the King? This is why he deserves MVP. As great as the 41 points from AD are, the 24 from LeBron came at a real plus minus of plus 19. Plus 19. Cam Reddish, you want to talk real plus minuses? Again, I thought he was going to get into early foul trouble, but he rotated around, managed his foul trouble. So did the bench. Darvin Ham subbed him off. 24, how about that? Plus 24 in his real plus minus. He only got 9 points, but one of them was a corner 3. We're talking about a drought on 3-pointers, and Torian Prince and Cam Reddish hit him from that same left corner. Go and mark that. See if you can get a piece of that and take it home with you tonight there, Cam Reddish. D'Angelo Russell, 32 minutes. Cam Reddish, 33. D'Angelo, 6 of 15 there. 0 of 3 from three-pointer. Again, we said in the preseason, how can this guy, when he got smashed against Denver and the critics came out on him, how can he find a way to affect winning? Well, he can if he can get the assists, and AD is so important to us. This is one of the guys that can get it to him right under the basket in dunking territory, and he did it beautifully. 7 assists there, 1 steal, 1 block. We talked about his sneaky blocks coming in. Cam Reddish, 3 blocks. Anthony Davis, 4. There's a bit of the block party there. Personal fouls, 5 on LeBron James. That's what we're talking about. Who could manage the foul frustration? 5 on James, 5 on Reddish to finish the game there. This was an area, the Lakers, not such a great game for Rui. I'm not sure if he got hurt. We'll have to look at the injury reports. But just 9 minutes for him there, 0 points. 0-0 from 3 and only took the 1 field goal attempt. So we'll have to look into whether there was a little injury I've missed there in the excitement of the game. Maybe the fans can tell us and the listeners can tell us down below. Wake up to yourself, Tony, and miss one. Vando, handy when he was on. A couple of silly fouls, but pretty good. 16 minutes. It just meant when they weren't looking at Cam Reddish, they were looking at another 6'8" guy. And when they weren't looking at a muscular one, they also brought on Max Christie for a little bit of that time. Vando, 16 minutes. Glad to have him there. The great 0, -8 is real plus, unfortunately. And Jackson Hayes, I thought he did well. That same quarter, we said in the preview, they've been going well in that second half where they bring him on to start and they rest AD and the team makes a little run. Well, they did it again, but they had a couple of little wobbles and they were pretty quick to bring AD back in. But I thought he didn't do too badly, to the point that it was +1. I don't know if we panicked and we said, well, what if it becomes -1? It was just enough that we were up a little bit, back a little bit, and I think Coach thought there was a bit of a flow change. Quick, let's change it, go with the game flow. Interesting that their coach, every time there was a little run by the Lakers, those timeouts that Darvin Ham's criticised for, they were quick to call them. And look, that is good. Christian Wood did not play, coach's decision. Could we trade Wood for some big lumbering lumberjack of a centre somewhere and find one, maybe some sort of guy that just throws the occasional 3 every now and then, but a big body. Look, I'm interested. Maybe that, and maybe he's got to get him back out, get him playing a bit more, and then trade him. Anyway, Christian, I hope you're not listening and coming to slap me around, but I think, mate, maybe you can get more minutes in another organisation. Maybe I'll be wrong, and we'll have to apologise. And Coach Ham's got some grand plan, and Phil Handy, they're working with him. Well done there, Lakers. Let's Austin Reeves. We probably didn't give him a fair enough go there. Austin Reeves, 28 minutes, 9 of 15. He dominated that second quarter. He had 17 points. He was like the top point scorer in the game for a while there for the Lakers. He was fantastic second quarter, slowed down a bit second half. 10 of 12, he was great when they fouled him. He made those free throws. And +10 in his real plus, 28 points. So there you go. 41 to Davis, 28 to LeBron, 28 to Austin Reeves, 24 to LeBron James. So your second highest point scorer. That's a nice way to answer the critics back from the start of this season. Austin Reeves. Let's go quickly here to the big stats. We hit 53.4% from the field and they hit 37%. We held them down. We got out. We pressured the perimeter. They kicked it out. We always showed 2. We kept showing 2 to Haliburton. He was classy enough that he didn't charge into them, but he'd kick it. And a couple of those kicks, because we're so tall and long, you had to throw those passes just that little bit further, as you do when you see something in the corner of your eye stretching, you throw it further that way, and they went out of bounds or they deflected off their player out of bounds. This is a guy who can get 0 turnovers, and he had a couple within a couple of minutes there as the game was flowing in that late first quarter, second quarter. So next time they came on, he thought they cottoned on and had something going, but the Lakers edged away. Again, the preview, we said, can we just edge? And we did. Dave Arksovitz, one of our listeners, said, Tony, is it first quarter calzones? Well, it was, and it was narrowly by 5, 34-29. But we did our best to let them sneak back into it at one stage. But thankfully, we snuck back out in the last minute or so of that quarter, where sometimes we let teams sneak away from us. Well done, first quarter calzones. I don't think if you win $500,000, you want a calzone. But the crowd, the calzones are for the crowd. Don't forget that, players. Give them something. First quarter calzones. We want calzones. First quarter calzones, and tonight we got them. And then we said, please keep these other quarters tight. Well, how tight did they keep the second one? 31 all. It looked like we'd edge away and we'd let them back in, but 31 all. minimise the damage. Then 22-25, 3 points. So we were able to edge. We said it, can we edge away? We thought we could get away like 12, 20 points, but they kept sneaking back in. To their credit and to their class, how well they do it. Indiana, the final quarter, we got up there 6. It was out at 19, and then they'd slip back. Couple of brain explosions, as we said, and they'd hit a 3 right on 3-quarter. LeBron forces apart, holds the ball too long, drives it, kicks it to the side. They cover the corner pass. It's out. A guy runs down a floating. They didn't give him much time, but he had enough. Let's not do that. Why do it? Frustrating, but you're the MVP. You've got $500,000. We're doing this for free. So thanks for the likes. Thanks for the shares. But I guess we can't criticise. Well done, well done. And maybe there was some fatigue at different sides. 3-pointers. Can you believe we would win this competition with 15% from 3? Could you ever believe 15% would be enough? But the good news is we held them to 24.4%. I thought they were a bit more dangerous second quarter, second half, sorry. And but the good news is we kept them overall down to 37%. Every time they looked like getting us into trouble, we just edged away. But sometimes they came back. Their classy operation. They hit 88% from free throws, one of the areas where we previewed, and they beat the Bucks. We only hit 77%. We got there 35 times, they got 33, so there was a foul explosion, but about the same in terms of trips to the line. No complaints there. How about this one? Offensive rebounds. Finally, we got a team, but not much. 12-9, 3 points there, 3 rebounds. But this is the big one. The big one. We're talking 20 more defensive rebounds. We shut it down. The second shot opportunities for this team is one of the spots where we won this one. 43-23. Congratulations. Assists. The man's an assist machine. 27 there. Haliburton helps to them, to our 25. 10 steals to them. That was frustrating. They were biggish out in the wings with their guys like Naismith, and they pushed out and they were able to get a few steals on us. And we turned the ball over. That's how we kept letting them back in. 20 turnovers to 9. Oh my gosh. Every time you thought you could get out the sparkling soda water maybe in a champagne glass to celebrate, this team came back, and a little bit frustrating. Points off turnovers, though. Get this one. We turned it around. We were lucky to turn it around because we kept giving it back to them. 21 points to us to their 8 points off turnovers. So we had 20 turnovers and they had 7, but we managed to score 20 points off those turnovers. Sorry, they had 9. We managed to score 20 points off 9 turnovers. Pretty efficient. Anyway, let's get into it. Fast break points. This was the fast team against the old man, and we beat you. We beat you. 21 fast break points paces to your 18. There you go. Fast breaks for the old folks. It's still possible. Here we go. Some of their guys that did well. We've talked about them. Haliburton, not a lot out of Heald. Maybe Lakers are thankful they didn't trade for him. He looked dangerous, though, from 3. He did hit 2 from 9, and that we were lucky. No. Haliburton there, when they needed more points, just shows how classy he is. He hit a couple of threes. The guy can do everything. Great player, great future for them. Obi Toppin looked handy for his 13 points, but the bench guys looked the most dangerous. Naismith, I thought they did well out of this guy, Jackson, who apparently was drafted by the Lakers, but as part of a trade, had to be picked up there by the Pacers. TJ McConnell, when he came on, he was good, but what's not? He's like one of our listeners asked, is he there, Matthew Dellavedova? Well, when his shoulder went in, but of course a Laker bumped him. I thought he dived in his shoulder. The dirty player. But he wasn't. It was an accident because he was bumped by a Laker, might even been Cam Reddish, and the shoulder hit LeBron. Oh, fearful that could have been a season changer and a game changer. Here's the questions from the listeners really quickly. Were you worried with the brain explosions? Monteo from Manila, that got the game back to 3 points? Yes, I was, Monteo. Great question. We've mentioned it already. Was this a championship game of who could manage foul trouble and frustration the most, like Miles Turner, LeBron, Cam Reddish, and those screen calls? Magic at Figueroa. I don't think it's Magic Johnson, but that's a great question. We've talked about it. It very much was a game of managing that frustration. First quarter calzones and edging away. You mentioned it in your preview, Tony. Did they deliver tonight? Well, Ted-O, they did. So the people of California, I hope you get that first quarter calzone. We've got to get a calzone sponsor. What are they doing? Palinka, have a think about it. Get the sponsor. Tony, you said it in your interview. Was it lucky Adam Silver got a special price on ugly paint because you want him to wear it out? Biggs Munns who blocks tons. Yes, indeed. That was the answer. Wear out the ugly paint. And now they're back there. They're painting it because it was better than sandpaper. AD and LeBron and the team straight through there. Just focus on that ugly paint. But those courts, they've got plenty of people talking for the whole in-season tournament. Now that we've won, we should get all the fans should get a piece of the Lakers court tomorrow. Maybe the first, I don't know, 5,000 fans. How small could you cut it up into little pieces? Maybe a little bit signed by LeBron or something. What about this one? Was AD really the MVP? I'd have to go back and have a look at all the others. That was Mick the Inca who doubts Palinka, and he very much doubted the AD trade. So it's kind of Mick the Inca to say this about AD. But he was definitely the MVP of this game. His real plus minus, though, if you had a look at him, LeBron's and Cam Reddish's can show you how real plus affects games. But LeBron got a much better real plus minus, but AD, I have to say, MVP of this game, probably the next best. LeBron, Austin, Cam Reddish played a big role. If you've got a few more points, you'd be talking about him there in that sort of mix. Was he the MVP? Yes, he was of this game, but the tournament was for all the games. The MVP was judged, so it is LeBron. LeBron, the MVP. First three-pointer with 2 minutes to go. Were you worried they dried up? Yes, we said in the preview, I don't think the Lakers can get 55% again. Not even sure they can get 40% again. But we didn't even get 35%, which is a worry. Would you have thought we could win with 15%? That question came from Toe B, like spelt like your toe on your foot, from 2B, which I think is like his class back in the days of, he's a good penciler. Did TJ McConnell and Haliburton together breathe life back into the game? And is he there, Matthew Dellavedova? A great question. One of the Australian questions. Tim Hugs at Destination Anywhere. We've always got a little bit of a bias for Dellavedova. The Australians a soft spot. But TJ, when he was on, yeah, feisty. But when he was on with Haliburton was an interesting combination. And they did make a little run back at us. And he kept coming in. Look, maybe it was fatigue. We got rebounds, held them. I don't know, we held him out and said, would you like something off this platter? Try a biscuit. In he came and he just took it off him a couple of times, TJ. Spin, protect it, elbows out, get aggressive. But good game, good on you, TJ McConnell. Cam Reddish, were you guys worried he would be fouled off early? John O, it's go town. Yes, they spun him around, and to his credit, spun him around on different players, but with all the switching, it was risky. So they got him off just in case we needed him again later. Coach Ham, smart play. Haliburton, as you mentioned in your preview, his speed is not quick side to side like a Donovan Mitchell acrobatic type stuff, but sleek. Were you worried when he got away on us today a couple of times? D Styles at the nation's capital. Yeah, I was worried, but it was sort of, he'd get to the hoop, but it wasn't like he'd get three in a row. So we sort of realised our mistake each time. He's so sleek and fast on a curve. He'd be a beautiful 200-metre runner, but he's not zip, zip, zip fast like these Tyrese Maxeys and Donovan Mitchells, an acrobatic tumbler type quick. It's a nice, sleek speed, but it's quicker than you think, and he's a little longer with his reach than you think. Max, and as he gets in there, he's so sleek with it. You sort of, if you're coming from behind, you foul him, so he gets to the line as well. Max Christie got some good minutes. A Max Christie fan, Clayto at Clayton. Yes, he did, because of that Cam Reddish fouling and because a couple of fouls too on Vando. I think we had to give Max a go, and we said Max might get a go, and I thought he did pretty well there. Let's have a look at him. Were you worried the Lakers let the Pacers hang around and bring it back to 5 too often? The Dazzler at the Duke. at Collaroy. Yes, I was worried about that, Dazzler. They did bring it back too often, and this is what we do. But each time we did, at least we edged back away, thankfully. Other teams, we've let it get back, and we've been a bit sloppy. Today, we sort of made the errors, realised the errors, and caught back up. What a great second quarter from Austin Reeves. Harry at Hillbilly Kobe. Great name, Harry. Yeah, mate, you are right. We've mentioned it before. Fantastic second quarter and game overall, but particularly that second quarter really kept things fueled up and rolling. Naismith, you mentioned him in your preview that he might give LeBron some moments, but perhaps not for a whole game. Were you worried that you'd understated how good Naismith was? Mike at San Luis Obispo. Yes, I was. This guy did actually stretch things a little bit longer than I thought. Could the Vegas in-season tournament hangover be a thing, e.g. teams that have played in Europe before for those NBA games early, they've played in London, and the teams come back, they show fatigue the next game or two. Let's see how this goes. The Lakers have got a little bit of rest. Enjoy your celebration, but they're back in a Texas 3-game run on Tuesday. That question came from Sean at Abbey Takeaway. Good idea. Let's celebrate tonight, mate. But yeah, it could be some fatigue. Doc Rivers, in fact, said the Lakers will have a target on their back now. What are your thoughts? Trevor Lane at cul-de-sac. Trevor Lane. I don't think it could be the Trevor Lane off Lakers Nation, but Trevor Lane could be two Trevor Lanes at cul-de-sac. Very clever. Look, yes, I think people will be going out to try and beat them. They already try and beat them, though, Trevor. The Lakers are a team players lift a bit against and love to have their best game against the Lakers. Trouble is, they have one best game in their life, and then Rob Pelinka signs them up next year. You must just watch that one game when they have one good game. That's a whole nother podcast. Ethan, who is one of the fellows who hosted the last couple of shows with us from LA, our man from UCLA Radio. Should Darvin Ham or Adam Silver give you a note for the teacher if you're out celebrating during exam week? That's Mo from Memphis. Look, Ethan is studying hard, and it's he calls them final week. We call it exam week, and he's taking care of business there. Don't you worry. I don't think he needs a smart fella. You won't need a note. He's not an excuse maker. He'll get his study done. Shout out to Ethan, though. I hope things go well for you in your exams, and all our listeners have said the same. Is it way too early? Well, this is a great question. Is it way too early for the MVP trophy of the in-season cup, big bowl, whatever it is, to be named after LeBron James? Monteo from Manila has asked that question. This is a great question. Adam Silver, we put that one to you. While this game does not count the NBA schedule, have the Lakers sneakily won 4 in a row, as you called for in a previous show? Yes, Miami, these teams have been going on a 4-5 run. I'm worried the Clippers will do it. Teams that edged ahead of us, Phoenix had done it. Now the Lakers have gone on a 4, but guess what? The fourth one doesn't count, so now we have to go on this 3-game road trip. What's next for the Pacers? They have got to play Monday, Detroit, Rock City, to open a 4-game road swing. So they got to go on the road for 4. And the Lakers have got to go to Dallas on Tuesday. So Lakers, Tuesday night to begin a 3-game Texas road trip. Bam McMahon and all those folks, they'll be loving that. But the Lakers on a 3-game road trip. I guess we'll get to see Wembanyama perhaps on that road trip. Dallas and Houston again. How many times have we played Houston? It seems like a lot. There's got to be a way, Adam Silver, to draw the teams the right way so that you'd be playing a team that's not in your regular pool in the grand final, hopefully, of this thing, and make it count. Until next time, you've been listening to The Larry Lakers. Subscribe, share, tell someone. We're a little podcast on YouTube trying to take on the world. Let's see how we go. Give us a share, give us a like, give us a comment, and have a safe week. Celebrate the Lakers. We've won the big bowl, whatever it is. Next year, Adam Silver wrestles a bear, just like Will Ferrell. See you, folks.